Hi, friends. It has been a while, but we are back, and we are starting off in February, which is kind of close to where we pretty much are getting close to. All right, so Tuesday. Yesterday in the cafeteria, when I emptied out my lunch bag, I got 2 fruits, no snacks. What the? This was a pretty big problem. Mom always packs cookies or sugar wafers or something in my lunch bag, and it's usually the only thing I eat. So I had no energy for the rest of the day. At least do one. I can't. He'd have energy if he ate his fruit. When I got home, I asked Mom what the deal was with the 2 fruit thing. She said she always buys enough treats to last us the whole week, so one of us boys must have taken the snacks out of the bin in the laundry room. I'm sure Mom thinks I'm the one stealing the snacks, but believe me, I already learned my lesson about that. Last year I took treats out of the bin, but I totally paid the price for it when I opened my lunch bag at school and pulled out Mom's substitute snack. When one of you gentlemen cared to trade something for a pack of croutons. I like croutons. Today at lunch, it was the same thing. 2 fruits and no snack. Like I said, I really depend on the boost I get from that sugar. I almost fell asleep in Mr. Watson's class in 6th period, but luckily I snapped awake when my head hit the back of my chair. Ouch. When I got home, I told Mom it wasn't fair someone else was eating the treats and I was having to suffer. But she said she wasn't going to go grocery shopping until the end of the week and that I just have to make do until then. Dad wasn't any help either. When I complained to him, he just made up a penalty for anyone caught stealing snacks, which was no drums and no video games for a week. So obviously he thinks it's either me or Roderick. Like I said, it's not me, but I figured Dad might be right about Roderick. When Roderick went up to the bathroom after dinner, I walked down to his room to see if I could find any wrappers or crumbs. But when I was poking around in Roderick's room, I heard him come downstairs. I had to hide quick because for some reason, Roderick gets really bent out of shape when he catches me in his room like he did yesterday. Hey, look at me. And he has his drumsticks up his nose. Right before Roderick got to the bottom of the stairs, I dove into his desk cabinet and shut the door. Roderick walked into his room, then flopped on his bed and called his friend Ward. Roderick and Ward talked forever, and I was starting to think I might have to spend the night in the desk. Roderick and Ward got into a pretty heated debate about whether or not a person could throw up while standing on their head, and I started to feel like I was going to throw up myself. Luckily, right around then, the phone's battery died. When Roderick went upstairs to get the spare phone, I made a run for it. The snack thing wouldn't even be an issue if I had money. If I did, I could just buy something from the vending machine at school every day. At the moment, though, I'm kind of broke. That's because I used all my money on some junk I can't even use. About a month ago, I saw these ads in the back of one of my comic books, and I sent away for a couple of things that were supposed to totally change my life. X-ray goggles, sees through walls, metals, clothes, personal hovercraft, zoom around town on a cushion full of air, float 6 feet above the ground, print your own money with the cash machine, insert a blank piece of paper and roll out a $5 bill, throw your voice, ventriloquism kit. I think they're all fake. I started receiving my stuff in the mail about 2 weeks ago. The cash machine turned out to be some lame magic trick where you have to insert your own money into the secret slot for it to work. And that wasn't good because I was really counting on that thing to get me out of having to find a job when I grow up. The X-ray goggles just made you see blurry and cross-eyed, and that was a bust too. And he fell. And the throw your voice thing didn't work at all, even though I followed the instructions in the book. I'm an idiot. I'm an idiot. What the heck? But the item I had the biggest hopes for was the personal hovercraft. I figured getting home after school would be a breeze once my hovercraft finally showed up in the mail. So long, suckers. Well, I got the package today, but there wasn't a hovercraft inside. There was a blueprint for how to build a hovercraft, and I got stuck on step 1. Acquire an industrial twin turbine engine. I just can't believe the people who write those things can get away with lying to kids like that. I thought about hiring a lawyer to sue those guys, but lawyers cost money, and like I said before, the cash machine was a piece of garbage. Thursday. Today when I got home from school, Mom was waiting for me and she didn't look too happy. Turns out the school sent home mid-quarter report cards and she got the mail before I could intercept it. Mom showed me the report card and it wasn't pretty. Then she said we're going to wait for Dad to get home and see what he thought. Man, waiting for Dad to get home when you're in trouble is the worst. I used to just hide in the closet, but recently I figured out a better way to handle it. Now whenever I got in trouble, I asked Grandma to come over for dinner because Dad's not going to act mad if Grandma's around. Why, aren't you a dear? At dinner, I made sure I sat in the seat right next to Grandma. Smart. Luckily, Mom didn't mention my report card during dinner, and when Grandma said she needed to leave to go to bingo, I tagged right along with her. Catch you guys later. Escaping Dad wasn't the only reason I went to bingo with Grandma. I also went because I needed a surefire way to make some money. I figured spending a few hours with Grandma and her bingo friends was a pretty fair price to pay for a week's worth of snacks from the vending machine in the school cafeteria. Grandma and her friends are experts at bingo, and they're real serious about it too. They have all sorts of gear like lucky blotters and bingo trolls and stuff like that to help them. One of Grandma's friends is so good that she memorizes all her cards and she doesn't even need to use a blotter to mark them off. For some reason, tonight Grandma and her friends weren't winning like they usually do. But then on the cover all game, I got every square. I yelled out bingo real loud and the clerk came over to check my card. Turns out I messed up and covered a couple of squares that I shouldn't have. The clerk announced that my win was no good and everyone else in the room was pretty happy that they could keep playing. Grandma told me not to call so much attention to myself if I called out bingo again because the regulars didn't like it when a newcomer wins. I thought Grandma was pulling my leg, but sure enough, the regulars sent out their ladies over to intimidate me, and I have to admit, she did her job really well. I would get scared with her breathing down my neck, too. Alright, well, we will find out what happens on Friday. If he gets in trouble for his grades, if he wins at bingo, or whatnot. I will see you guys then.